Good morning, y'all. All right, I got to get into this early today because I got something to do this afternoon. I got to do it in a different format. What I'm going to do this later on, just because, there's stuff that I can't show, some things that I'll be able to show. I got to make sure I get authorization to even show. So it'll be involving our border and some of that. That's the reason why I reposted my video from back a couple years ago, June 2018, with my friend Esther Valdez. This is something that's been on my heart for a long time, because having been involved in the community down there for a minute and just seeing different things, and so it's just been a thing of mine. So a friend of mine invited me to something, and I'm gonna go and pray for your boy, okay? But I want to get into three things today. Okay, so first off, I want to talk about pastors with balls. Okay, pastors with balls. John MacArthur, pastor with some balls. This pastor basically said, other pastor down in South Bay, that basically told California government, okay, here's proverbial, I'm not even gonna say it, basically told him, take a hike. Okay, these pastors said take a hike, and several of the virtue signaling pastors who are out there, who basically are liberals, and they just don't like conservative Christians. They actually don't. They don't like evangelicals. They had a whole lot to say. Well, these pastors with balls, they went up against atheist, Marxist, communists who want to speak into the and regulate the church. And that's the truth of what these people actually are. They're atheists, Marxists, communists. Okay, and that's just what they are. Call it what it is. That's what I call it, because that's what they are. And then the ball-less pastors are the ones who capitulate to the desires of these atheists. Okay, so and nothing against people who are atheists. That's your choice. But to be able to think that you can speak into the Christian faith because of a pandemic, when the survival rate is something compared to the numbers that aren't shown, people actually getting through this thing, and it's basically hyped up in a way that's supposed to scare people. People have a right to still, according to the Constitution, make their own decisions, and that's actually what the pastors with balls actually did. And the people who were in those congregations, they still abided by social distancing, still wore their masks, still did what they were supposed to do. But the atheist, Marxist, communists within the California government, they still try to regulate the California churches. And so I want to just commend those churches and just say, yo, I appreciate that, and I appreciate that you stood up. And I'm glad that you also spoke up, and that you said what you had to say, and also too that you were not afraid to do so, and that's appreciated. Okay, now being a pastor, I'll tell you again, the lies that we're told about hydroxychloroquine, if you are a pastor, you know that. And that's something that people who are not in the faith need to know from people who have used the drug for other things, okay? It's been tested for freaking 60 years. Now, people need to hear the voice of pastors who have actually used it, because your voice matters. They try to silence your voice, which is what they try to do here in California. So we need to speak up and tell the truth and speak up and be the voice, because there's people out there, who need to hear that voice, and they need to know that there's actually hope in this stuff, okay? So that's the first point. Pastors with balls, good job, okay? Now, next one is black voices. There's several people out there. I mean, from Candace Owens to Brennan Tatum. There's a whole bunch of people out there. Bob Woodson, and then Thomas Sowell. These are individuals who are old school black dudes. But there's a whole bunch of new school black folks who have come up. And I posted this one lady out there on the East Coast in Baltimore. Now, the deal is, these black voices are not the ones you're supposed to be pumping up. They're not the ones supposed to be magnifying. Okay, these are the voices you're supposed to be shutting down, which is why you have all the black people who are straight up racist that are calling me stuff. I can imagine what these women and these men go through from the black community, because black community out there that is still a part of the liberal agenda. They still don't want these other voices to be heard, or their stories to be told. And the truth about it is, there's more racism against black conservatives than you would ever expect. And me coming out of liberalism, coming out of the Democrat mindset, and being a free thinker, and seeing what was happening, this is a couple years ago, okay? See what was happening to black conservatives, I was like, yo, why y'all black people calling this dude a straight up N-word? And then to see, then I got, so-called friends of mine call me a nigger and that kind of thing, and they're Mexican, okay, and call me a coon and Uncle Tom and stuff. You're supposed to be, and then blame it on my faith and my religion. No, I'm gonna blame it on your religious bigotry, because you're a bigot. That's what you are. You're a freaking bigot, and that's what you are. That's what you always be. That's what you showed me to be. Okay, so you're a dang bigot. You can apologize, you still apologize, but that's up to you. Okay, so those black voices, they pioneered through something that is very hopeful, and this is why when now you can understand this. Okay. The reason why it's terrifying for liberals, especially those, Antifa, BLM folks, to see black people standing up and actually having a different voice, is because there's power but behind black people who have a difference, who want to get away from freaking mental and soul slavery. Okay, there's a big difference there. And what happens is it freaks people out when black people think for themselves and don't abide by the prescribed narratives. And I'm gonna tell you something, okay? I'm gonna be one of those people. I'm gonna do so with authority. And I don't give a crap what any black person, Mexican, any white person, any white liberal has to say about me. I really don't care. The reason why I don't care is because I know that you're a racist on the inside and you're a bigot on the inside as well too. Not only your religious bigotry, but your racial bigotry as well. So that you know what I'm gonna say about that? You can shove it, because I'm not even worried about it. And I'm getting heated it's not even freaking 7 in the morning, I'm already heated. So that bigotry, not gonna happen with me. And I'm gonna stand up for people who actually stand up against that stuff. And if you right now, okay, you're actually expressing your voice, you're saying things, and there's black people that are saying things against you, if you're white, Filipino, whatever you might be, and you got black folks telling you, well, you need to go consult some black people to discuss your opinion and what you are saying here on social media, tell those folks to shove it, okay? Tell them to straight up shove it, because you know what? You have a right to your own opinion. You can state your opinion. You have a First freaking Amendment. Abide by it and tell those folks to freaking take a hike. Now, last thing here. When I go to Mexico, I'm going to the U.S.-Mexican border here, okay? I have, for a long time, been involved with folks down there, done things to help folks out and whatever, okay? So I don't even get into it because it's not something I want to, try to magnify myself about. But everyone was Trump before there was Trump, okay? You can look up Chuck Schumer, you can look up Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, you can look up all these folks. They were all Trump before there was Trump. They're the ones that came up with the Secure Fence Act. They're the ones that are talking about legal immigrants and all that other stuff. They're the ones that said it. But you Mexicans need to know something, okay? You are the next set of black people. You didn't know this, but and I'm gonna say some unorthodox things right now, okay? People realized in 2000, I want to say maybe 2010, under Barack Obama, that there's a voting bloc of people who are illegal who could come here and do things for the Democrat Party. Now, you may not know that. You being the next black people means that black people right now, as always, are being shoved aside. But what's being happened for y'all is that you're being brought in to be a part of the next piece of the system. That means that you have to abide by Democrat liberal rules, which means that you have to abide by their narrative about you, which means that you better do what they say, okay? You being the next great voting bloc is what's keeping a certain mindset in place, which is liberalism and progressivism, which is to push all the things at the border that folks don't even want to talk about. And people don't talk about Barack Obama and the kids in cages, but they want to talk about it with Trump. Well, separating kids from who were supposed to be their parents was actually a good thing. But now there's got to be a better way, because there's just got to be a better way to do this stuff. And that's why I'm on that stuff, right? Well, you and I and everyone need to know this, that all these people who were Democrats sounded just like Trump before there was Trump. And then they flipped on it when they realized that they had a potential voting bloc right through you. Right through you. And you became the next target and are the next target, which is why you have these people who are open borders. They want to use you like they've used black people for their own purposes of liberalism. You need to understand, okay, and I'm going to say something here, and you guys can't sleep on this. You need to know what liberation theology is. If you don't know what liberation theology is, you will not know what these people believe. You will not understand why and how when somebody talks about fair share, it's a Marxist phraseology and language. You need to understand what that stuff actually is. Because if you understand what people believe, you get what it is that they're doing, and then you understand it completely. Now I'm going to end on this, okay? There's more folks who look just like me who are standing up saying something and are not afraid to do so. The reason why they're not afraid is because they see and they know what the actual end is. They know that the end is people being red-pilled and understanding that they've been lied to, they've been deceived, they've been used over and over and over again. And people are waking up to it and are tired of it. And you being that person on the couch, you're wondering why these things are happening. Well, they're happening because folks were not willing to stand up and say something, but now there are people. I'm not the first. There's several people way before me, but I'm not the last either. And you get to express your opinion, you get to express your ideas, you get to express your hope. But hope is in freedom. That's why I wear my red, white, and blue every single time I get on these videos, because I believe in it. I believe in the dream. But there's folks on that TV who are screaming and yelling and are mad about everything. Those folks don't believe it. Those folks don't believe it because they're Marxists. They hate you. They hate your freedom, and they hate your ability to speak it. So I'm going to speak it because I ain't worried about these haters. Take care. God bless. Have a great day.